Hi, Doug Bryan, College Planning DFW, a DeSeris company. I was reading an article yesterday in the Dallas Morning News under the points section called The Godfather of Runaway Tuition. And I read that and I had to share this with you. I want to tell a little bit about what's going on there and my impression of it. Anyway, it's about Stephen Trachtenberg, who is the president of George Washington University. He's just now retired, and he's published a book about his tenure there, and he's proud of his reputation, and he took George Washington from a very struggling university on the brink of bankruptcy to one of the most prestigious universities in the country. How did he do it? By raising the tuition. That's all. He noticed when he got there that George Washington charged less per student, less tuition than most of their competitors did. So he just had a systematic bump in tuition every year, and he was the first to do this. And he admits there was no reason to do it other than to attract more students, because the higher your tuition, the perceived value that the university must have. And then what did they do with the money? Did they hire professors and bring in prestigious professors and then lower the student-teacher ratio? No. They spent it on student-related things, such as building nice, posh dorms with maid service and suite-style living facilities. I don't know about you. When I went to University of North Texas, I stayed in a dorm with a community bath, unheard of these days, 2 beds, 2 desks, 1 little small refrigerator you had to rent, and no central AC. We had no heat, no air conditioning in my dorm. That would not fly anywhere today. Students just, the schools have gotten competitive. And they know this. Schools aren't there, colleges, and it pretty much almost says this in the article, not quite. Colleges aren't there to educate students. Colleges exist to attract customers. And they're competing against each other. And one of the vital things they're doing is getting rankings in U.S. News and World Reports. I hear this all the time from people who come in and talk to me, and they want to go to a school that does well. They've looked it up in U.S. News and World Report, and that's where they want to go to school. U.S. News and World Reports, the rankings, the criteria includes things like their school selectivity and campus life and how much money is spent per student. Well, obviously, how much money is spent per student is going to the campuses that charge the most are going to be able to spend the most on each student. What it does not cover are things like job placement after graduation. Believe it or not, that is not a consideration for the U.S. News and World Report's criteria. And because of that, there are schools, law schools, that have had class action lawsuits filed against them because misrepresenting their job placement rates to potential law students. They would advertise things like 85–95% placement of their graduates, and at the time to be placed out of law school, if you got a job after graduating law school as a barista at Starbucks, you were placed. Now, this last year, the American Bar Association has stepped in and has put in more stringent guidelines, and as a result, the new statistics say that 45% of graduating law students were not placed in their field within 9 months of graduating. You don't see that in U.S. News and World Reports. Not under that article anyway. And also, let's see, U.S. News, I'm losing track of what I was, selectivity. That's what I wanted to get on. If you've got a junior or a senior, you've been inundated with postcards and letters from colleges all over the country urging you to submit an application. Please apply, please apply. Why do they do that? Especially from schools, you've got a lot that you've never heard of. You've also seen some very prestigious schools urging you to apply. Why do they want you to apply so badly? So they can say reject, reject, reject. Because by getting hundreds of thousands of kids to apply to their school, they can have a 10% acceptance rate, which means they can reject 90% of the applicants. So they spend a whole bunch of money on marketing, getting people to apply, just so they can have the privilege of rejecting you and bump their ratings in the U.S. News and World Report article. That's what it's all about. You've got to see through this. When it comes to picking out colleges that are going to be a good fit for your child, it's not about selecting the one that's in U.S. News and World Report. It's about getting on the campus and seeing if the campus and the program is going to be a good fit for what you want your child to do. It takes lots of work. Then on the financial side, figuring out which schools are going to be generous with financial aid, which ones are going to do best, and how you can go through the process to your best advantage. If you haven't been to my free workshop on how to send your kid to college without going broke, do yourself a favor and go. It's packed full of great information. And it's not about coming and using my service. I can only service so many people, a very few people in relation to the number of people that I educate. That's why I'm sending you this video today, to get you to take action. And it starts as early as the freshman year in high school. That's one of my biggest challenges, is getting people to realize they've got to get serious about this. It's not waiting until it's time to fill out the applications or the financial aid forms. That's way too late to do anything about this. Every decision your child makes beginning their freshman year of high school has an impact on how much you're going to pay out of your pocket for college. So if you're watching this, my guess is you've got a kid in high school. Get serious about this, start researching colleges, and get on track. And if you need to come see me, I'll be happy to talk to you, but I would like you to do this, at least get started on your own. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good week.